What's up, Rooks? Welcome back to All the Castles, the show where we visit all the castles in the UK. Today we're here at Sizergh Castle. This one's probably not going to be as much of a filming fest as normal because the actual house itself is private property.
No, you can go in it, but you've got to pay quite a bit.
Oh. Well, there's private property that are letting you go in if you pay quite a bit.
It's National Trust property.
National Trust property, but we're only here for the Peel Tower that's attached to it. We've not paid, so get what you're given. Oh.
Hello. Well, we're enjoying a brew at the cafe at Sizergh Castle today.
No.
Today the Howl is it's closed for the winter. It's not open till Easter next year. We weren't actually intending to go inside because the National Trust can be a bit pricey, but the good news is that there are public footpaths running through the estate, so you can call at the cafe without paying any sort of admission charge, and we'll see how close we can get to the castle in a few moments after I finish my tea. Hello, I'm standing outside the oldest part of Sizergh Castle, which is this lovely Peel Tower here, and I'll just give you a bit of history. The manor of Sizergh first appears in the record books in around 1170 when Henry II gave the manor of Sizergh to somebody called Gervase Danepoint, but there's no indication that there was actually a building here at that point. There's no archaeological evidence. The Danepoints eventually, the male line fizzled out, and the heiress of the Danepoints married a William or Walter Strickland, though at the time the way it's spelt it actually looks more like Stirkland, and from that point on the Strickland family have lived here ever since, although they're now tenants of the National Trust. And this is the earliest part of the building, and they think this dates from about 1350, and the owner at that point was a Thomas de Strickland, and the rest of the hall was added, rest of the castle rather, was added onto the Peel Tower from the 15th century onwards. Very much changed in Elizabethan times, and then it seemed like every additional Strickland did a little bit more to alter it. But it's owned by the National Trust, and you can look round it if you pay the admission fee, and it also contains some personal memoranda of the Stuart family, because Francis Strickland went into exile with James II and therefore acquired some personal mementos through that friendship. In fact, the Stricklands had a bit of a history of picking the wrong side, but so it's quite surprising that they've still managed to stay here. Now, you can look at each phase from the windows here. You've got this tiny medieval slit at the bottom, then what looks like an 18th century window here, then what I think is an Elizabethan window, and then right at the top, those are original medieval windows from the 14th century. So that's a very nice and neat historical progression. Now we'll go round the other side to have a look at the Despoint Tower. Hello, and at one corner of the building you've got a tower that's slightly taller than the rest of the tower, and this is known as the Despoint Tower, and you can see there's more stories, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I think this was the original doorway into the tower here, but I don't think the steps are medieval. So I have done the tour here, but we're not going inside today.
I just want to point out how nice it looks with the flowers on the staircase. This isn't relevant in any way, I just think it looks pretty. Cheers! Go on.
Hello and welcome to Wraysholme Tower in the village of Allithwaite in Cumbria. This is about as near as we can get without trespassing because it's a working farm, but fortunately there is a cafe here and a creamery, so we are allowed to be here. And Wraysholme Tower was built in the late 15th century by our old friends the Harrington family, and it's now got a modern roof. The old one was a flat one, and it's got the remains of 3 turrets and a parapet. I believe it's now used for stabling. The farmhouse dates from the 19th century, but it may possibly be on the site of an earlier hall, or the tower may have been a standalone home for the Harringtons. We just don't know. So that's about, it's not got much in terms of recorded history, so that's about all I can say, except we'll now go and sample the wares in the creamery.
This is our first ever crossover episode between all the castles and all the foods.
Right. Well, by kind permission of the owner, Steve Morris, we're now actually inside the Peel Tower, and he was just saying that some of these beams have notches, suggesting that they were possibly once from a ship. Okay, we're now in another part of the tower, and you can see this is the more modern roof where apparently barn owls are now nesting. Note also the fireplaces set in the wall. There's one here and one higher up on the second or third. Do you think that's the second or the third story? Second floor.
I suppose I could call it third, wouldn't you, if you can't go up?
Mind your head.
Right, and we're now going up the remaining spiral staircase. This is exciting.
And also very dark.
Yeah. Hello, little fella.
Oh.
All right.
Oh.
Okay. Ah. So this is the remains of the parapet, isn't it? Okay. Yeah, I did that. Right, so we've come up the spiral staircase, and it leads us on to what remains of the parapet, and here what we're looking at is the guardrobe or the toilet, and Mr. Morris tells us that it was always been known to them as the long drop. Okay, we're just looking across the modern roof to one of the other turrets. Steve is telling me that used to go across there as a kid. Doesn't appeal to me, but that's the confidence of youth. Oh, well, we have been enjoying the fruits of our labours here, and I can say the ice cream is very nice. I'm having the unusual apple, raspberry and carrot combination, but it's pretty good. Just a couple of things that Steve told us after we finished filming on the parapet and worked our way back down the scary steps. The farmhouse overlooks the headland of Humphrey Head, where famously the last wolf in England was hunted and killed, and apparently the story goes that it was Sir John Harrington who lived here who commissioned the hunting of the wolf after it had killed a child in Flugborough. And also, although we felt very honoured by being shown around the tower, it appears that Steve is quite willing to do that for any visitor that comes here. So it's not advertised in the website for Wraysholme Creamery, but if you do come here and he's around, he's quite happy to take you up the tower, and that is a great feature.
I would like to extend a very special thank you to Mr. Steve Morris. He was a very lovely gentleman. He's the one who told us the story of the wolf, and yeah, he's a legend.